Welcome to another episode of the 15 Minute a Day Cure. Today's topic, ways to decrease your anxiety. Hi, I'm Margot Staten of BeGoodToYourselfByMargot.com and welcome to my channel. Here, I teach you simple strategies to improve your quality of life. If you're new here, wonderful to have you. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So this will actually be episode 2. In episode 1, I'll leave a link down below. I covered strategies 1 through 5. And in episode 2, we'll be covering strategies 6 through 10 in order to decrease your anxiety. So again, anxiety is very, very common. Obviously some anxiety disorders are extremely severe, such as, PTSD. Obviously, folks who live with generalized anxiety disorder are anxious all the time, and the feeling is unnerving. It leads to a decreased quality of life. Obviously, when we suffer from anxiety, we're not happy. We have poor concentration, poor sleep. It essentially affects everything that happens to us in our lives and oftentimes prevents us from doing better and from achieving more. So again, topics 1 through 5, I'll leave a link down below. Let's jump into today's lesson and start with number 6. So if you have anxiety, again, there are a number of things that you can do. You can obviously, there's medication, speak to your doctor about that. You can also see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, a social worker, and speak to someone. But I'm going to be covering things that you can do on your own. Anxiety does not go away by itself. It's like any other, chronic illness. It could be mental health. It could be physical ailments, chronic conditions. Without some type of intervention from you, it's not going to improve. I wish there was a way to just magically make it go away, but there isn't. You need to invest time, energy, and effort into improving yourself. And again, anxiety is something that you can improve as long as you have proper strategies in place that you do daily. And let me be clear, these things do not take a lot of time, but they do go a long way towards making you feel better and less anxious, which is what we all want. So number 6 is journal. Journaling is very, very effective. It's effective for many reasons. Getting your thoughts out, sort of putting on paper what made you stressed and what made you anxious that day is very, very effective. Journaling also provides clarity. Oftentimes, we sort of exaggerate the triggers for our anxiety. And, in our head, we kind of inflate them and we make them appear bigger than they are. They're little mice, but we make them feel like they're elephants. And that's how we feel, right? I mean, anxiety is very, very debilitating. Journaling, when you write down what made you anxious and then you read it, sometimes it provides insight and clarity into just how minimal the anxiety trigger was. And if you realize that it's really not as big as you make it out to be, your anxiety levels will decrease. Number 7, practice gratitude. Gratitude is extremely important because, again, with anxiety, most of what we're focusing on are the horrible things. It's the things that are giving us anxiety, from small things like, somebody standing too close to us at the supermarket, to being stuck in traffic, to having to give a presentation, to flashbacks, which are more severe of a crisis or a very, very negative ordeal. Practicing gratitude, focusing your mind, right? You control what you think. You actually can control your anxiety. It requires a lot of discipline and it requires retraining your mind to focus on things that are not negative, but rather positive. Practicing gratitude is a fantastic tactic. Think about, instead of focusing on things that give you anxiety, and there's a lot of them, think about things throughout the day that didn't give you anxiety. Focus on things and people and situations and occurrences that you're grateful for. You could be grateful for having a wonderful family. You can be grateful for having a beautiful home. You can be grateful for something small, like maybe you learned something, or maybe, you went food shopping and it wasn't crowded. A lot of my anxiety is crowds. I become extremely overwhelmed when there are too many people, and living in New York City, it's challenging to live with that type of anxiety. So I purposely and strategically plan to, go shopping in areas that are less crowded. I pick specific times that, again, there won't be that many people in stores or on the streets. I drive instead of taking the train. So again, I live with that type of anxiety, but again, practicing gratitude and sort of focusing on things that are positive. And oftentimes we sort of reflect back on our day and we're like, well, nothing positive happened. Well, no, that's kind of your mind just focusing after years of habit on things that are negative. Something positive happens to you every single day. You need to retrain yourself to focus on that. Maybe, you had a great conversation with a friend or a parent, or maybe you enjoyed doing something with your children, or, a pet. The point is that there's always something positive to find. You just need to right? It's a practice. So practice gratitude every day. Just find one thing you can be grateful for that day. Number 8, aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is very, very helpful. You can do aromatherapy in the form of candles. You can use diffusers. You can put bath bombs and take a bath. That's also very, very relaxing. There are a ton of different scents that contribute to sort of decreasing stress and decreasing anxiety. I'll leave all the content down below. Lavender oils are also fantastic, chamomile, things of that nature. So aromatherapy does work. Again, it doesn't have to be very expensive. It doesn't have to be time consuming. You can just have, a lavender flavored candle sort of lit in your house, and it'll naturally sort of ease some of the tension. Again, it's not going to eliminate anxiety, right? It doesn't work in isolation, but it'll help decrease some of the anxiety symptoms. Number 9, quiet the noise. A lot of anxiety, sort of overstimulation. It could be overstimulation, like I mentioned, for me, it's crowds. I also have a very difficult time when people talk very, very loud. It starts to sort of give me anxiety, or just loud noises in general. Quieting down the noise can just be, maybe going to take a walk, in a park, or sitting in your living room, maybe, put on some very, very soft music. The point is, you need to find time throughout the day, even if it's for 15 minutes, to be in quiet, to be serene, to sort of be very, very calm, because anxiety is very, very overwhelming, and it almost feels like it doesn't stop. So quieting the noise and dedicating time to sort of be by yourself, or be in a quiet space, or be in a space that soothes you, right? Sort of reflect back and think about what you do and where that actually soothes your anxiety, and try to practice that for about 15 minutes a day. And finally, number 10, yoga and meditation. Again, it sort of centers the body, it centers the mind, it quiets the noise, it decreases anxiety symptoms. Meditation, is not something I personally practice. I've tried yoga. It's also not for me. I'm more into Tai Chi. So, for me, because I like the fluidity of the movements, and the beauty about meditation, yoga, and Tai Chi is that it takes away from you thinking and sort of stressing about something and being overwhelmed with the anxiety, and it forces that energy into something like body movements, or rather meditation is sort of redirection and emptying your mind of all of the thoughts. You can find a ton of YouTube videos to sort of walk you through that process. A lot of the clients I work with, yoga and meditation is sort of their lifesaver. So look into that. Again, it does work to decrease your anxiety. The point is that living with anxiety is horrific and impacts everything, but doing nothing about it is not going to make you feel better. And there is a way to decrease, if not eliminate, your anxiety. Again, my recommendation is, it would be great if you can do all 10. They're not very, very time consuming. And if you practice them daily, and if you build routines around things that naturally decrease your anxiety over time, what you're going to see is that you're not actually that anxious. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. Those are, the 6 through 10 tips of how to decrease your anxiety. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And always remember to be good to yourselves.